Welcome to the podcast, Claim Your Excellent Life, with your host, Suzanne Kellner-Zinck, where she helps professional women learn how to be happy. Suzanne will teach you how to do this through building high self-esteem, relaxation and calm, and good, healthy relationships. Tune in every week as Suzanne shares effective strategies to help you claim your excellent life with happiness techniques, self-esteem building exercises, relationship tips, and relaxation information. Make sure to head over to dawningvisions.com to subscribe to the newsletter to receive your keys to happiness, as well as other useful free gifts for you.
In this episode of Claim Your Excellent Life, we are going to talk about the harsh realities of life versus what we want our lives to contain. As you know, I have spent approximately a month among the homeless. And that is because, quite honestly, I was homeless. Sometimes in the world of business, the work doesn't come in the way that you'd like it to. And you find you can't pay bills, and you have to do what you have to do. So I spent some time at a homeless shelter. It was a very clean place called the Doors of Hope in Wilmington, California. Yet life was pretty regimented over there. And that's because from day to day we didn't really know, well, I should say the people who ran the place for over 100 years, by the way, all on donations, really didn't know who was coming in and out from day to day. Some of us were very well educated and just came on hard times as the economy killed our businesses. Others found themselves in devastating relationships that they needed to exit and didn't really have the funds to move forward. Some were chronically homeless. Many were on drugs and alcohol, though they pretended not to be during the time they were there, but whenever the 30th or 31st came around, they were not to be seen for the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, so that's when they got their money, so they wouldn't be coming back. And some just couldn't deal with being told what to do, because basically when you're in a situation like that, even though there were really only 15 beds for guests, as they called us, they would line us up as if you're in elementary school before you could go pretty much anywhere out of that place. They'd search our bags when we come in and make sure that we didn't have any food. They didn't want any rodents or bugs coming into the place, understandably. And they didn't even allow us to bring in brand new clothes. They would wash everything and make it the way they wanted it. Well, what I'm trying to explain here is that when you're among these people, there's some who are working really hard to move forward, and there's a lot who are just really stuck where they're at, including, I would say, many of the people who work there. I mean, on the outside, it was all about being of service, but I really don't know how many people can sit through chapel 7 days a week, or I guess I had to work 6 days a week, hearing people talking about the blood of Christ. Human beings are all sinful. If it weren't for Christ, we wouldn't be able to do what we do in life, being pure white souls, or whatever it was they were talking about. Some of you Christians will understand it better than me, Amira Job, who really never studied that stuff, and quite frankly, I found that to be really depressing messaging. That's just my opinion. You can have your own. But this is the thing. It's so important. We can stay in the muck, or we can help lift up others. And though I really hated chapel, I really hated it, because I found the hymns to be corny and disgusting. I don't want to be singing about the blood of Christ. I'm sorry. I'm in healthcare. Blood is really great where it is, where it needs to be, you know? But getting an image of Christ bleeding on the cross every time I talk about that was pretty gross to me. I'd rather talk about things that have to do with how are we going to make the world better for having been here? What can we do to help our fellow mankind? What can we do to be of pure heart and soul? Those are the things that move me. And when one of the ministers was talking about creationism being the only thing that's real and evolution being really stupid, I knew I was in the wrong place because I believe in evolution. You know, if it wasn't for our Creator, we wouldn't be here. Nothing would be here, okay? Granted. But we have minds, and we need to use our minds to be able to assess information and put into context and to really come up with belief systems and values that truly matter. And it's not about talking about how great you are because you're a born-again Christian. It's about, are you willing to be a good soul and be able to give the care in a loving, endearing manner to people that you say you're there to serve? And I'm going to say right here, right now, publicly, these people, in many ways, were hypocrites. Because I didn't feel love, and I didn't feel care. What I felt was abused. And one of the ladies there, she got me. She didn't go in my face when I told her, whatever, or I get it. She understood that she only had to tell me the thing once, that I was kind of rolling my eyes, and I didn't really give a shit about their rules. The ones I thought were stupid, there were good rules. They shouldn't have food in there. They do need to make sure that the clothes are clean. We had a woman who came in with lice one week. That was really bad, you know, because they accept pretty much anyone. But the problem is, adults need to be assessed for where they are in life and what they're doing with their lives, and have the protocol that works for them individually. You can't treat every adult as if they're a drug-addicted, alcoholic person stunted in their growth who needs to have a religious conversion in order to find their way. Religious conversion works for some people. It doesn't work for all. However, what I really want you to understand is that we have choice. We have the ability to use our minds and construct lives that work for us, so long as we are willing to put the effort out there to make that happen. And what I mean by that is, you get in your mind what you want to achieve in your life, you keep it in front of you at all times, meaning that you're always thinking about it, subconsciously and sometimes consciously, and you stay focused on that thing, and you do your self-hypnosis, and you just keep yourself concentrated. And that's how I got to Israel for 2.5 months. That's how I got to see Australia and New Zealand and Europe and bring my work to Africa. That's why I did it all. And it may even be how I was able to stay in the shelter for 7 weeks if I needed to, because I was able to ask for the help I needed to get into a CNA program. Not that I want to do certified nursing assistant work, but I work with people. And in California, unfortunately, you can't just get a home health aide certificate. Like I was able to do in Massachusetts, you have to do a CNA, and then from there, they'll hire you to be a home health aide. It's crazy, and that's what I know about this world. It's really crazy. The older I get, the crazier it is. But this is the thing. Stay around people who are optimistic. Stay around people who are doing interesting things with their lives. Stay around people who are creative. Stay around people who have dreams and aspirations and are walking the walk. That's your learning from me today. You do that, and you'll be able to get through any of the stuff that's thrown at you through your life, because I'll tell you, I've seen a lot of things through a lot of people, especially when you're in a homeless shelter. Oh my God. And I think the most important miracle that I've been a part of just recently was this one woman who's been on the road for 5 years, out on the streets, homeless, and she had a care worker at the same place I went to find housing who wanted her to get her house. And she found these neighbors of hers who had an apartment, 3-bedroom, and she put me and this other woman and another woman who's been on the streets for about a year into his apartment. And this is a prototype to get homeless off the streets and into places they can afford, because the rents out here are so freaking high, no one can afford it on their own. As a transitional space, instead of putting 2 people in a room or more, which is ridiculous for adults, we need our privacy, we need our space, we need our place to do our stuff, you know? My other roommate spends a lot of time in prayer. That's how she focuses on what she wants in her life. She's really smart. She just kind of psychology, you know? despite losing her mom and having to deal with a whole lot of stuff there. She did it, Human beings are so resilient. I guess that's one of the learnings I got over at the shelter. Those who choose to be can be. Then you have the ones who kind of gave up and they're stuck in it. But this is what I want you to know. You keep in front of you those things that are important to you, and you bring them into your life, because I'll tell you this. This woman, Kay, who's my roommate now, she couldn't believe she had a place to live because it had fallen through for her so many times. And I just looked at her, and we came over here to see this place. It was a beautiful apartment in San Pedro, a really nice area, about a mile from the water. And let me tell you, I just looked at her and I just told her, I said, you have one piece of homework for me, like starting from now on. You concentrate on you having a home at long last, making this your home. You just get yourself together so that you can actually move forward in life and do all that artsy stuff you love doing, and you'd be okay. And she's repeated that to other people in front of me, that I told her that. Because it's true, sometimes we lose our hope, and we need someone to be in our face in that way, And, I help her out in all the ways that I can, because, that could have been me. But I was only homeless really for a month. Because she needed a place, and she needed a roommate, and I came along, and then the other one, and there you go. It was a miracle. I got to live exactly where I wanted to live. Here in San Pedro, that's all I wanted, was to come back to San Pedro, and here I am. So, another miracle. And all I got to do is build up my practice. Working on that one. So, concentrate on where you're going, concentrate on what you want, and make sure it's something that's helpful to the world at large, and I promise you, you'll get it. You just got to focus on what you want and stay away from the naysayers and the negativity and the people who say you're damned to hell if you don't do X, Y, Z. You're never damned to hell. Just focus on being a good person, and great things will come to you. As always, thank you for spending your time with me. Until next time. If you have enjoyed Claim Your Excellent Life, we'd really appreciate it if you go over to iTunes and give it a 5-star review. If you have found Claim Your Excellent Life to be helpful to you, and maybe even life-altering with the information that we have shared here, and to allow us to continue this work, which we really do enjoy doing for you, you can sponsor us at patreon.com. That's spelled P as in Paul, ATREON as in Nancy.com. Again, that's P as in Paul, A-T as in Tom, R-E-O-N as in Nancy.com, where there's a few different levels of sponsorship that you can choose from to help us to continue doing this work. We thank you for any assistance that you are able to give us.
Thank you for listening to the podcast, Claim Your Excellent Life, with your host, Suzanne Kellner-Zinck, where she helps professional women learn how to be happy. Suzanne teaches you how to do this through building high self-esteem, relaxation and calm, and good, healthy relationships. Tune in every week as Suzanne shares effective strategies to help you claim your excellent life with happiness techniques, self-esteem building exercises, relationship tips, and relaxation information. Make sure to head over to dawningvisions.com to subscribe to the newsletter to receive your keys to happiness, as well as other useful free gifts for you.